Right now, somewhere on Earth, there is a rocket sitting on a launch pad. Not a metaphor, an actual rocket, fueled, ready, waiting for a countdown. And in a few hours, it will be gone, punching a hole through the sky on its way to space. That's not a rare event anymore. That happens almost every single day. In the 1960s, a rocket launch stopped the entire country. Schools rolled TVs into classrooms just to watch. Offices crowded around a single set in the break room. It was a miracle. Now you scroll past it without a second thought. So what changed? Why did something that used to be humanity's biggest achievement become background noise? Here's the strange part. It's not because space got less impressive, it's because getting there got cheap. Brutally, aggressively cheap. And that single fact rewired an entire industry that governments controlled for 60 years. Let's go back for a second. For most of the 20th century, only countries launched rockets, not companies. Countries, because a rocket wasn't really a vehicle. It was a missile with a nose cone swapped out for a satellite. The technology was born from war, from the same engineers who built weapons for Nazi Germany, and then for the United States and the Soviet Union afterward. Rockets were a symbol of national power. You didn't build one to make money. You built one to prove your country could reach farther than the other guys. That's why a single launch cost hundreds of millions of dollars and nobody blinked. It wasn't a business, it was a flex. Then, in 2002, a guy who made his fortune from an online payment company looked at that price tag and thought it was insane. Elon Musk didn't found SpaceX because he loved rockets. He founded it because he ran the numbers on a trip to Mars and realized the raw materials for a rocket cost about 3% of what NASA and its contractors were charging to build one. 3%. That means 97% of the cost wasn't fuel or metal. It was waste, bureaucracy, and a broken business model where nobody had ever been forced to get efficient. So SpaceX built rockets that come back. That's the whole twist. For 60 years, a rocket was a single-use object. You launched it once, it burned up or fell into the ocean, and you built a brand new one for the next flight. Imagine if every time you flew somewhere, the airline had to throw the plane away and build another one from scratch. That's what space travel looked like for decades. Falcon 9 changed that by landing itself upright on a floating platform in the middle of the ocean, again and again, thousands of times now. Suddenly, the most expensive part of the rocket wasn't a one-time expense. It was reusable hardware, like a delivery truck instead of a firework. And once launch got cheap, the reason for launching changed completely. It stopped being about national pride and started being about internet access, weather data, farming, banking, and military communication. A 2023 report from the aerospace analytics firm Tech found that the number of objects launched into orbit had grown by more than 10 times in under a decade. Not because we suddenly discovered a new use for space, because we could finally afford to use it the way we'd always wanted to. Here's where it gets a little uncomfortable, though. Most of those rockets aren't carrying astronauts, they're carrying satellites. Thousands of them. SpaceX alone has launched over 6,000 Starlink satellites to build a private internet network that beams broadband down from orbit to places fiber cable will never reach. Amazon is racing to do the same thing with a competing constellation. China is building its own. Astrophysicist Jonathan McDowell, who tracks every object humans have ever put into orbit, has warned that low Earth orbit is filling up faster than most people realize, and that the space around our planet is starting to resemble a crowded highway with no traffic lights. So the same rockets that connect a fishing village to the internet are also the reason astronomers are seeing streaks of satellite light photobombing their telescope images. The same reusability that made space affordable is also what's making space crowded. Every solution drags a new problem in behind it, and that's really the pattern underneath almost everything humans build. We spend decades treating something as untouchable and rare, then someone figures out how to mass produce it. And the second it becomes common, we stop noticing the miracle and start worrying about the mess. Think about your own phone for a second. The first cell phone call in 1973 was treated like landing on the moon. Now you're annoyed when your phone takes 3 extra seconds to load a video. Abundance doesn't just solve scarcity. It quietly erases our sense of wonder along with it. So the next time a rocket launches and nobody around you mentions it, that's not apathy. That's actually proof it worked. Getting to space stopped being a miracle and started being infrastructure, the same quiet, unglamorous way electricity and running water did. And somewhere on a launch pad right now, there is another rocket, fueled, ready, about to disappear into the sky, and almost nobody is going to stop what they're doing to watch it happen.